Welcome to action from the 2017 Big Dog Dart Tournament. This is an American-style darting event. It's a singles competition and there are no handicaps. This match features Brian Butz taking on Jason Parker. Jason's shooting the cork. He was introduced to the one-loss bracket by Nick Sasanoski, and he recently defeated Stan Savitsky in order to stay alive. His dart is off to the left, but it is closer to the cork than Brian's. Brian was put here recently by dropping his match against Dave Hubusky. Brian's leading off the top of the inning. First dart trip, second dart red, third dart single for a 1-2-3-6. Jason first dart single, second dart red, third dart red. So 6-5 after inning number 1. Brian's first dart at the 2 is a trip, followed by a red. Chance for a big inning, and he nails it. 7 points for Brian in the second inning. Jason first dart single. Second dart into the blue. Third dart single. So 2 points in the second inning for Jason. Brian leads off the third with the red. Follows it up with the red. Chance for a bucket of blood. Nails it. He starts his game 6-7-6 for 19 points after 3. Jason's first dart and second dart in the third inning, both singles. He slides to the right, finds room in the trip, walks away with 5 points for his third inning. He's down 19-12. Brian leads off with a red in the fourth, follows it up with another red, moves to the right, finds room for another red, bucket of blood for him. Jason going deep, a little too deep, blue with his first dart, single with his second, misses the mark with the third. So 1 point in the fourth inning for him. He's losing ground as Brian starts off with a single, a double, and another red for 5 points for him in the top of the fifth. Jason single, red, mimics Brian's 3 darts, players trade 5s in the fifth inning. First dart single for Brian, second dart red, another 5 for him. Jason first dart red, second dart trip, chance for a big inning. Kisses off his first dart, doesn't get points with his third. Players trade 5s in the sixth. Brian leads off the seventh with a red. Follows it up with another red. Bucket of blood once again for him. He is 41 after 7. Jason chasing. First dart red, second dart red. Players trade buckets of blood in the seventh. Eighth inning. Brian starts with a red. Another red. More solid shooting from him. 6 points there. He is 47 after 8. The door's shut on Jason. He would have needed 2 white horses combined with a blackout in order to catch Brian. He puts up 2 in the 8th. Brian's top of the 9th starts out with the red, so he's got 49 with 2 darts in hand. Add 2 points to it, so 50. He's got his 51 game, and 354 for the game for Brian. Jason shooting for average and consistency. Red. Trip. 8 points for Jason. It's a good, solid way to finish the 9th. These guys will be back at the line in a moment with game number 2 in the match. Game 1, Brian Butz over Jason Parker. Parker takes the line for the first, starts off with a red, and a big inning. Way to start for him. He finished strong, he starts strong. 7 points for him in the top of the first. Brian first dart trips, second dart wide left, back with the red to finish with 5 points for the first inning. Jason starts off the second, first dart trip, second dart single, a bit of a kiss there, it looked good. And he fills it in, 5 points for him in the second. Brian first dart in the second inning misses. Second dart catches a trip. He had room to shoot at, but a bad kiss leaves him with 3 points for the inning. Parker first start in the third is a red, followed by a single. He's looking for room, and he finds it in the 1, so he puts up 4 points. It gives him 16 after 3. Brian first dart missed, second dart in the single on the third inning. He's going to try to fill this in with the red, and does. 3 points for him, 16-11. Parker going into the fourth where he leads off with a trip and a red and a chance at a big inning. Slides to the right, comes back at the board, hits a trip. That's 8 points for him in the fourth. He extends his lead. Brian first dart solid red, second dart into the blue. Third dart in the blue as well. Brian walks away with 2 points for the fourth inning. Parker has an 11-point lead shooting in the fifth. He is a single, deep blue, and comes back and misses with his third dart. So he puts up 1 point. Here's an opportunity for Brian to catch up a little bit, eat into that lead. First dart is stray, second dart is trip, third dart wrong side of the wire. 3 points for him in the fifth. It's 25-16, Parker ahead and throwing in the top of the inning. Catching a trip with his first dart in the sixth, catching a trip with his second dart in the sixth. Plenty of room to shoot at. Fills in a 7. 7 for Parker in the sixth inning. It's hard to gain ground when your opponent's throwing sevens. Brian misses with his first dart. Red and red again. So 4 points in the sixth for him. 32-20, Parker in the lead. First dart at the 7, trip, second gets points as well. Third dart, another trip, another 7 for Parker. Brian's got some catching up to do. First dart red, second dart trip. Third dart into the blue. So 39-24, Parker ahead, throwing first, adding points to his lead. Red, 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 6 points for him, a bucket of blood, 45 after 8. The door is closed on this one. Brian shooting for average and consistency, puts up 4 in the 8th inning. Parker needs a 5 for 50, and he's on his way. He's hit it. A trip, a red, and a blue. So 50 on the dot. Jason Parker finds his game. He takes game 2 of the match. Things are tied at 1 apiece. Final score 50-31. Both players have had games where they've struggled, and both players have shot 50 or better. There are 9 more innings to shoot. The winner continues on in the one-loss bracket. The loser will exit the tournament. Once again, players shoot the cork. Brian's offering low and to the left. Parker's slightly inside Brian's. Brian goes first, leads off the first inning. Wide left and low, but he finds his mark with his second dart. Trip. He adds a red with his third dart. 5 points for him to start the game. Jason, first dart trip. Second dart single. Third dart in the blue. 5-4 after 1. Brian leads off the second. First dart trip. Second dart trip. Room for a big inning. Puts up 7 in the bottom of the second. Jason, first dart single. Second dart trip. Third dart red. 6 points for him. So he counters Brian's 7 with a 6. Brian leads off the third with a red, a trip, plenty of room for another big inning, and he hits it. Back-to-back 7s for Brian. Parker first dart single in the third. Moves to the right, tries to find room underneath it. Kisses his first dart. Gets a point with it. So 2 points laying. Wide right with dart number 3. He had the vertical, just the horizontal was on the wrong side of the wire. That gives him 2 points for the inning. 19-12 after the end of the first stanza. Brian goes red, blue, red again. 4 points for him in the top of the fourth. Jason's first dart, wrong side of the wire in the blue. Second dart single. Third dart misses. 1 point for him in the fourth inning. Brian's up by 10. First dart, solid red in the fifth inning. Second dart single. Third dart trip. So he's got a 1, 2, 3, 6 points in the fifth. Jason, first dart red, second dart single. Third dart trip. 1, 2, 3, 6 points. Players trade innings in the fifth. Brian's up by 10, shooting the sixth. And although it's hard to see, he got a 4. So Parker takes the line down 14. First dart high. Second dart wide. And he blacks out the sixth. He's not terribly happy with that particular inning. 33-19, Brian in the lead. First dart single, second dart red. He catches his third dart. 3 darts in the inning, 5 points for him. Parker hoping to stay within striking distance. First dart red, second dart single, moves to his left. Kisses a dart, ends up hitting the board sideways and falling to the ground. Brian hits a red, and with that bucket of blood, secures victory in the game. Jason shooting for consistency and average. Red, trip. Big inning for him. So 7 points. Brian has 44 and a shot at a 50 game. First dart offline, second dart red. So he's got 46. And one more gives him 47 for the game. That's enough to come away with a win. It gives him victory in the bully game of the match. He will be moving on. Jason Parker eliminated from this year's Big Dog Dart Tournament. Final score, Game 3, 47 for Brian, 35 for Jason. Brian takes his place among the final 8 shooters remaining in the tournament. The winners bracket, Joe Hagany, Dave Lebowski, Jamie Zortman, and Justin Burns. The one-loss bracket, Chris Keene, Brian, Mark Roffling, and Doug Troutman. More action to come.